Hello, good morning, my dear students. Once more, we are here to take your classes for class 8, subject geography. I started the few days ago the first chapter from geography under the heading Population Dynamics. This is the first chapter. In the first class, I discussed number of the important terms like what is population distribution, what is population density, and what are the factors on which the population density depends. There are many factors which I discussed in the earlier class, like the climate, water resources, soil, mineral resources, irrigation facilities, political stability, many more factors are discussed. Today, I am going to discuss from that point. Today, I am going to discuss the overpopulation and underpopulation along with the optimum population. What is called overpopulation and what is called underpopulation and what is optimum population? On the basis of the density of population, the area can be divided into these three categories: overpopulation, underpopulation, and optimum population. It is very desirable in a nature there should be a balance between the population on the one hand and the natural resources available to that particular area. If there is no balance between these two components, population and the available resources, it is not good for the country, it is not good for the people. So what we need, what we expected, normally we expected a balance between the population and the available resources to that area. A deviation from this balance between the population and the available resources is called the optimum population. This is called overpopulation and underpopulation. If there is disbalance between the population and distribution of resources, then two situations may arise. Either the country, we call it overpopulated or overpopulation, or second, we may call it the underpopulation. But if there is a perfect balance between the population living in that area and what the available resources to that area, is called the optimum population. This is the balanced condition between the population and the resources. This is called what? Optimum population. But if we deviate from this situation, that is the optimum population, then two situations may be arise. Number one, overpopulation, second, underpopulation. Now the question, what is overpopulation? It is a state of a country or of an area when the number of population exceeds what the available resources to that area. In other words, we can say when there is more population, then the available resources of that particular area is called the overpopulation. A country may be overpopulated, or a country may be underpopulated, or a country may be optimum population. India, overpopulated countries. China, overpopulated countries. Bangladesh also overpopulated countries. But if we compare China and Bangladesh, Bangladesh is too much overpopulated compared to its resources available to that country. But look at the China. China is a huge country. China is a big country. And there is a balance between the population and the natural resources also. Naturally, China sometimes may not call the countries of overpopulated. India too, a large country. Huge resources are here. On the basis of that, we may not call India a overpopulated country. But no doubt, Bangladesh, compared to its natural resources available, population is more. In this sense, Bangladesh is no doubt overpopulated country. Come to the points of city and towns. Look at the Mumbai, look at the Delhi, look at the Kolkata. All these cities are overpopulated because more population compared to the natural resources available to the people of that area. That is why these cities are called overpopulated cities. So my question to you, if a country either overpopulated or underpopulated, then what are the negative or positive impact, or what are the difficulties faced by the people living in that area? First, we will discuss the positive, especially the negative impact of the overpopulation. What are the negative impacts? If a country, if a place is overpopulated, then number one problem it faces the shortage of natural resources. Shortage of natural resources results the depletion of natural resources living in that area. Tremendous pressure. Overpopulation put a tremendous pressure on the natural resources. Results depletion of the natural resources. Second important negative impact of overpopulation, unemployment. Huge unemployment due to shortage of resources, due to shortage of job facilities. More jobs, but few jobs, and there are more people eager to get few jobs. Unemployment. Third important thing, it also put pressure on sanitation facilities, drinking waters, on traffics, huge traffic jam, very difficult to move from one place to another place, very difficult to go from one city to another place, traffic congestion, lack of water facilities, lack of sanitation facilities, overpressure on hospitals, huge traffic jam. Every day the people face if a country is overpopulated. So there are many negative impacts of if a place, if a country become overpopulated. There is acute shortage of essential things, especially what people needs, in the form of food, in the form of shelter. Could not cope up the people with those situations. Every day people face such problems. Problems of roti, kapra and makan. Results, a big slums also develop in the overpopulated areas. Mumbai, big slums outside the Mumbai. Delhi also, the big slums outside Delhi or outer towns of Delhi. So these are the negative impacts of overpopulation. But there are one or two the positive impact of overpopulation. Number one, if population is more, then no natural resources go unwasted or remain idle. Every natural resource of the country could be used judicially, efficiently in order to increase the production. Second important thing, supply of labor. More supply of labor with low wages available the country which are overpopulated or the place which are overpopulated. Third important things, during the emergency situation like war, we may defend our country because of what? Because we have the more number of people. So there are some positive impact also, but there are more negative impacts, especially it put a huge pressure on the government, on the natural resources to provide basic amenities of life to the people. This is called overpopulation. Second, the underpopulation. Opposite of overpopulation, underpopulation. When the populations of that area is less, what the natural resources available to the people living in that area is called underpopulation. There are many countries in the world are underpopulated. I am giving good example of underpopulated country, Canada, a huge country Canada in terms of area, second largest country in terms of area, Canada, but these countries are underpopulated compared to India, compared to China, compared to Bangladesh, compared to many other countries. That means in Canada there are more natural resources. What? The number of population it support or absorb. Some countries of Europe also face such problem of underpopulation. From Asia, Japan, the population going to decline. Though it is an island country, instead of population increasing, Japan population decreasing. Most of the European countries, America also underpopulated in terms of the area. So underpopulation. What is the positive impact of underpopulation? And what are the negative impact of underpopulation? Or the most important positive impact of underpopulation? No unemployment, no shortage of water facilities, no shortage of natural resources, no shortage of health facilities, no traffic jam, no lack of shelters. The living conditions for the people are very high. Per capita income of the people very high. Social and economic institution per capita is very high in the countries of underpopulated. But there are some negative impact too. Since there are less population and more natural resources, so many natural resources remain idle or unutilized. Result, production is less. Total output of the country produced in a year is very less due to shortage of labor. Very difficulties, or the most important difficulties faced by the underpopulated country, shortage of labor, acute shortage of labor. Due to lack of labor, though Canada is industrious countries, but in spite of that, they could not set up their industry and the factory and could not use properly or efficiently what the natural resources Canada had. Many resources remain unutilized. Due to lack of population, sometimes such a country during emergency like war, earthquakes, floods, in order to meet immediately the demand of the country, they failed. They failed to defend their country at the time of war. They could not mobilize more people in the field of army or the police personnel to defend their motherland, to defend their country due to shortage of labor, population. So there are more positive impact of the underpopulation, and of course, along with positive impact, along with some of the advantages, there are also negative impact of underpopulated country. Just now what I mentioned in front of you. So my dear students, keep in mind here the three important things. On the basis of the density of population, we categorize the countries. Optimum population, which means the balance between the population and natural resources. Second, overpopulation, when these balance are being disturbed, either more population compared to natural resources, and third, less population compared to the available natural resources. This is the thing regarding the density of population. Next, I am going to discuss population change. Population change. Another important heading. Population change. What is population change? Population change means the number of people changing in a particular area or country during a specific period of time, say 1 decade. Say 1 decade, which means 10 years. 10 years equal to 1 decade. So every after decades, the population of a place, population of a country is changing. Such changing population is called the population change. So this population change depends on 3 factors. My dear students, keep in mind here, population change depends on 3 factors. Number 1, of course, the birth rate. Of course, the birth rate. Second, the death rate. Third, migration. Birth rate, death rate, migration, on which the population change of a particular place depends. So what is birth rate? What is death rate? What is migration? Birth rate. This is the situation, live births against per 1,000 people. This is called birth rate. Live birth against per 1,000 persons in a decade or within 10 years is called birth rate. What is death rate? Death of a people against per 1,000 persons in a specific time, say 1 decade or 10 years. How many people are dying in a decade? Simply called the death rate. Similarly, how many people are coming again or giving birth in a decade is also called the birth rate. Okay? The difference between birth rate and the death rate is called the natural growth rate. Is called natural growth rate. What is natural growth rate? The difference between birth rate and the death rate is called the natural growth rate. It may be positive or the negative or balanced. If in a year live births 100 and death 100, then this is called no growth rate. No growth rate. This is a balance. Birth rate 100, death rate 100 also. So there is no growth rate. But if there is a birth rate 100 and death rate 50, that means 50 positive. This is the natural growth rate. This is the natural growth rate, positive growth rate. If there is a 100 death rate and 50 is birth rate, this is minus 50, this is negative growth rate. So the growth rate depends on two important factors. Number one, the birth rate. Second, the death rate. If birth rate and death rate go similarly, this is called no growth rate. But if birth rate is higher than the death rate, then it is called positive growth rate. But if the birth rate is less than the death rate, then it is called negative growth rate. So keep in mind here these three important things: positive growth rate, negative growth rate, and of course the no growth rate. But the difference between birth rate and the death rate simply called the natural growth rate. Other important things: migration. People migrate from one place to another place. People also migrate not only within the country but also between the country. This is called migration. This is called migratory people. Now, you are seeing now every day the people from Delhi, Mumbai, Kerala coming to our country, coming to West Bengal. They went there for their better jobs, to lead a better life. With this objective, they migrate from West Bengal to Maharashtra, from West Bengal to Kerala, from West Bengal to Karnataka, from West Bengal to Punjab. Maybe some people from Maharashtra also coming to Bengal. Some people from Gujarat comes to Bengal also. So these are called migratory people. So what is migration? The movement of people from one place to another place is called migration. Migration may be in migration or out migration. Out migration. In migration or out migration. In migration, in, within the country. And out migration means out of the country. When a people move out to another country, that is called out migration. The movement within the country is called in migration. Out migration and in migration. So these three important factors on which the population change depends. Number one, birth rate. Second, the death rate. Third, the migration. Migration may be two kinds: in migration and out migration. In migration, just I told you, movement of people between the country, between the states or within the regions. In migration. And out migration, between the country. Out of people from home country to another country. Or maybe people from other country also comes to our own country. Immigration and immigration, also there are such terms. So this is the points on which the population change depends of a place or of a country. Next, another important topic I am going to discuss, that is the sex ratio. That is the sex ratio. What is sex ratio? The number of female per 1000 males is called sex ratio. What is sex ratio? The number of males against per 1000 male is called sex ratio. How many females are there against 1000 males in our country? This is called sex ratio. If you look at the global map, the average, there is a, compared to the male, there is less number of female. In our country too, it is not exception. In our country, if you look at the sex ratio, then we will see the number of female against 1000 male is less. Against 1000 male, at present we have 927 female. There are some states, even the number of females against 1000 become less than 927. There are some states, these are the exceptional states where we can see more female than the males, especially the Kerala is the only state where number of female is more than the male. Even some of the states in northeast, Manipur, Nagaland, some of the states, there we see such a scenario. But in average, the number of female is less compared to the males, especially some of the states in the Indo-Gangetic plains like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. The number of females is very less compared to the males in those states. So my question to you, why there are low sex ratio in India? So there are many factors like social factors, religious factors and economic factors. I am giving some example. Number one, dowry system. Dowry system, one of the social cause. Dowry system, one of the social cause. You know dowry. This is a cause of the society. How were the women tortured physically for money, for dowry. Second important things, the hereditary law, especially the Orthodox women, the grandfather, grandmother, they are expecting the first child should be male. There are many states where birth child are not welcome. They are expecting the male child to carry the heredity. That is why. Third important things, third important cause, girl infanticide. Girl infanticide. Many states, girls were infanticide, girls child were killed. Third important factors. They did not like girls. That's why they infanticide. Fourth, because of the scientific development, many couples going to a doctor and tested the fertility, whether there is a male child or female baby. If it is female baby, then they kill it. Fourth, due to ignorance, due to illiteracy, due to orthodox religious thinking, the people of many regions do not welcome the birth child. Results, in our country, the number of females is decreasing compared to the males. So it is a signal. So we have to take some positive steps in order to increase the number of females against the males. We should maintain the balance between the female and the males also, so that in the society peace prevail, harmony prevail. So thank you, my dear students. Today is no more. We discussed today the overpopulation, underpopulation and optimum population, its positive impact, negative impact and the sex ratio.